pass out, just like leave me, I will wake up. Thank you all for coming tonight. I took a whole semester of speech class, but that would never prepare me for crying up here in front of everyone. Normally, I'm a hilarious person, also deeply humble as well, if you couldn't tell. But I don't know how funny I can be when I'm only serious for the second time in my life. I have to first and foremost say thank you to my Savior, who allowed all of us to wake up this morning and go about our days. Without him, I don't know where I would be. I don't know how people go without his constant friendship and without the peace and guidance he gives. The day I got saved was and will continue to be the greatest day of my life and the best decision I will have ever made. Thank you, Pastor and Mrs. Gilmore, or as I like to call them, Grandma and Grandpa Gilmore. Thank you so much for your role in my life and for being godly people who I can come to and trust and know love me. Thank you for lifting me up in your prayers and holding me in your hearts. I love you both dearly, and I will forever be thankful for your investment in my life. And thank you, Grandma Gilmore, for all the donuts. That was a nice investment for my taste buds. Thank you, Brother Mike, I don't know if he's here, who was my teacher from 5th till 9th grade, which sounds like a short amount of time, but is an eternity when you're dealing with me. Thank you for never giving up on me and for always giving me periods of grace to get projects in and done. And thank you for forcing me to go on field trips, which have now become fond memories. Miss Olga, which I don't think is here either, meticulously checked my work every day. She stayed on top of me and made sure I got everything done and made me the student I am today. And I'm so thankful for her influence on my education. And I have to say thank you to my school readers. I hated reading in the days when I was assigned to, completely loathed it actually. But the consistency of doing it for so many years has caused me to absolutely fall in love with doing it now. Thank you for your consistency in coming to hear me every week read like chunky peanut butter. I can now say with certainty that I read like smooth peanut butter. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Walsh, for your investment in me, for not only being godly authority over me, but also awesome friends to me. Mrs. Walsh, thank you for always letting me sit with you in church if I'm by myself, and for trying to schedule coffee dates with me. If only our schedules would cooperate more. You have been an awesome role model to look up to and a great human being to call a friend. Brother Walsh, thank you for all the chapel messages and youth activities. You were the cool youth leader all the youth groups wanted. Thank you for your investment in my life. I will forever be grateful. I have to say thank you to all my Sunday school teachers. Thank you to Miss Rossi, Miss Gale, and Miss White. Thank you for giving me marshmallows when I didn't want cereal. Thank you for dealing with all the fits I threw. I really was a brat. Thank you, Miss Mary, for shaping my 1st through 3rd grade years. I don't remember much, but I do remember the love in that classroom. And it's been a privilege to serve alongside you in the little kids class. Thank you, Miss Kinnicky, for always unashamedly showing your love for Christ. It's always been a blessing and a challenge to see how you trust and love him. And now I don't mean to offend anyone when I say this, but thank you to my favorite teacher, who is my teen class teacher, who is my father, so that's why he's my favorite. Thank you for letting me speak aloud in class when I have questions, and thank you for challenging me with my biblical knowledge, and for turning a blind eye when I take 5 cookies instead of 4. Yes, I confess my sin. And the Lord decided to move them after I wrote this speech, but I decided to keep it in. So thank you to the Lancasters, and I mean all of you. Thank you, Pastor Castor, for keeping me up to date on my football knowledge and always trash talking me, even though it never goes in your favor. I'm really going to miss you trash talking me every Sunday this fall. Mrs. Lancaster, thank you for investing in me. With every little jab, I know you say a little prayer for me. Thank you for your friendship, your example of friendship with my mom. And now I'm going to pull out a Southern word, everyone. Y'all are a prime example of a true godly friendship, and I'm so lucky to have gotten to see it. Mad, look, I got it right for once. Thanks for being like another little sister that I didn't ask for, but I'm thoroughly okay with. You keep me young, kid. And I say the absolute best for last, my Louie. Thank you for your friendship and for always taking pictures with me, for holding my hand when we go ice skating, and for holding me in prayer before the Lord. I'm never going to take for granted the friendship that I have with you, and I hope that I'm even a fragment of a blessing to you that you are to me. I love you, and I'm going to miss you. Now, this is where I begin to cry, because these are my hardest see you laters. Paul, thank you for having the courage to share your testimony in a chapel service. When you gave your testimony, it led me to inspect my own, and because of that day, on June 10th, I had my name written down in glory. If I didn't get to see my older brother put away his pride and recognize his need for a savior, I don't know where I would be. So thank you, Paul, for being outspoken about your faith. Abby, you've only been in our family for a little while, but all our memories are big ones. Thank you for loving my brother and showing it is possible to love someone from the Meyer children. Now, when I was created in heaven, the Lord said this one needs a protector, which is true. I thoroughly believe God made Katie to be my protector. Whether it's walking me through the college application process, or staying up a bit later than me so I can fall asleep peacefully. She's always been the one to make me feel comfortable and safe in this mortal world. Her integrity has inspired me to authentically be myself, and her independence has caused me to analyze myself and push myself to be my best. There are two people that I've always looked up to and strive to be, Ronald Reagan and Gretchen Meyer. Katie, I could sing your praise and my thanks for 100 years, but with deepest sincerity, thank you. Thank you for always driving me to Chick-fil-A, and thank you for never publicly getting annoyed at my thousands of questions. Thank you for being you and being unapologetic for it. Aiden, where do I begin? That's the joke we always make when we begin naming all the annoying things he does, but now it doesn't really apply. Yes, he does annoying things still, as we all may know, but those are far outweighed by how amazing he has become. I'm so lucky that I got to watch you transform into a caring and happy and serving young man. Thank you for always playing me a movie, even when you don't want to watch it, and thank you for cracking jokes when I'm stressed or on the verge of tears. You're a bright spot in our church, and I'm so lucky I get to be your older sister. Abby, I don't know how to begin to thank you. When you write a graduation speech, you get to think about all the people that are closest to you and have influenced you. As I was going through the memories throughout the years so I could thank other people, there was always a little girl with big brown eyes who's standing right behind me. And that's who Abby is. She encourages me and pushes me forward. She never knew this, but my whole life I've been competing to be as good as Abby, to love as much as her, to serve as much as her, and to play soccer as well as she does, and to have a presence that legitimately lights up a room. My whole life I've chased Abby, and it will probably take a lifetime to come anywhere near her. She and Aiden are a constant reminder to me that there's a generation below me that needs to be influenced, that needs to have examples, and that needs to be led and taught how to lead. I have hope for the future because of Abby. So thank you, Abby, for pushing me to be my best and for always assuring me that I can do it as long as I have God. In speech class, we learned that you have comfort sight. I've noticed it whenever anyone stands to speak, they can look at someone or something and almost relax. This next thank you is going to be a challenge because my dad is my comfort sight, and I can't look at him and not cry. Mom and Dad, I was so blessed when I was placed with you two. God looked at little baby Gretchen in heaven and said she gets to be Bob and Amy's girl. The grace and providence of God will never fail me. All because he gave me to you. I was in church 2 weeks after I was born and never missed a Sunday, unless seriously ill. I was encouraged to think and to learn and to make opinions of my own. And I was never shamed if I had questions. You guys always led me back to the word, and which ultimately led to me getting saved. You explained how important serving was and then showed in your own lives what being a true servant is. Dad, thank you. One of my greatest memories was you sitting with me in the backyard while I was going through a trial, and you had me pull out my Bible and led me to what is now my life verse. You're the most godly man I've ever met, and you're the funniest dad I've ever had. Thank you. Thank you for being so patient, especially when teaching me different sports. And I will forever be indebted to you for raising me a Buckeye, only the greatest human American in my heart. Thank you for trusting me with your papers, which helped to cultivate my love for editing. I've always loved grammar, but you helped to show me my love for editing. I love you, Dad, and I love how you raised me and comforted me, supported me, and lifted me up in prayer. Kind of hit the dad jackpot. Mama, how do I begin to sing your praise? She was my 1st through 5th grade teacher. The foundation of my learning and education came from her, and she was tasked with instilling a love for learning and information into a bratty little Gretchen. And the present Gretchen has to send my deepest thanks for instilling that love, because once I learned to love learning, school was never quite so hard. Thank you for dealing with all of my health issues with such grace and poise. When I was and am a chaotic mess, you have your wits about you and to help manage whatever may be the problem of that day. Thank you for always listening to me, whatever it may be about, relationships or college or beliefs or life in general. Thank you for encouraging me to think for myself while also giving your input. Thank you for reasoning with me when I get set in my ways and for always showing me a biblical point of view. Thank you for having opinions and showing me it's okay to have opinions and be thoroughly passionate about them and to never apologize for them. One day, if I can be half the woman you are, I would be more loving and generous and sharp-witted and more opinionated than I already am. I'm so thankful and blessed that I got the Meyers as my parents. And I've dreamed of giving this speech since the 8th grade, and I've dreamed of going to Pensacola since I was 6. But I never dreamed of the childhood and education that I have received. I couldn't thank everyone in this room by name tonight. Yeah, that was right. But thank you all for your investment in me to help shape me into the person I am today. My greatest desire is to change this world for Christ, and I'm so thankful that I have a church who will support me and pray for me as I go on this journey. Thank you.